We are
live. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Happy Mother's Day to my kids' mom. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms in chat. Let's see who's here early. You know, we don't wait around for people. Like, we're not one of those chats that starts off, oh, let's wait for people to come in. But it's so gratifying that you guys are, yeah, that's the right usage of the word, to have you guys here. So thank you for being early, let alone here. JK in the house always calls me a gentleman. I appreciate it. It's a lie, but I appreciate it.
Doesn't know you very well.
Mikey, my favorite Jets fan in the house. James Ryan in the house. What's going on, my friend James Ryan? Big Disney fan. Hey, I saw your email that said, hey, don't worry about the email. Sorry it took me so long to get to it, but I'm glad you got your poll taken care of. Welcome in Stacy Rogers, the mod of all mods in the house. The Dupley crew, sponsors of Disney Pins, live on Friday nights. Check them out. I swear I'm going to send you that email, guys. I know I've been telling you that for 3 weeks.
He's bad at email too.
You know, it is what it is. Caitlin from Make It Blue in the house. What's going on? Who else? OTP 360 in the house. Oh, where'd it go? See, why is it? There's got to be a way for me to do that better. Anyway, OTP, I see you. Welcome in. I'm so glad to have you in the house.
Welcome, everyone.
Oh, that's cool. OTP 360 says resort guests just got let into Shanghai Disney.
Yay!
So it's Mother's Day. It's my special
cool.
Mother's Day edition of DisTube on DisTube. If you're new here, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I see a bunch of people in the house here. Usually I interview Disney creators, and you both are that, because you know what you both created? A Disney family. You create online a little bit too. Mom, you create like crazy. We're going to talk about that. You create like crazy. The Disney creator thing is mostly an online thing, but you guys do it on so many other levels. So I thought I would celebrate that and talk to you guys about that. And again, before I forget, I hope I don't forget. I hope I say this a lot tonight, but to all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Kay Atwood, I see you in the house. Julie Matthews, hi from Maine. Welcome in. I hear Maine is a beautiful state. I have not been to Maine. I would like to go. Mom, have you been to Maine before?
We haven't. No, we talk about it though because it looks so beautiful, but we haven't.
We should do a trip there.
And I love me some lobster. So Julie, save me a spot at the dinner table. Oh boy, a bunch of other people popped in. Who did I miss here? Let's see. Pass holder pair in the house. What's going on? I saw somebody else pop in that I didn't recognize the name. Maybe I missed it. If I didn't say hello to you, please don't take it personally. All right. So normally it's a Disney creator. That's an online Disney creator. Blue Nose in the house. What's going on, my man? And by the way, thank you to my members, Blue Nose and James Ryan and Detroit Disney Duo. You guys, you are a blessing to my family. Captain Akron or Akron in the house. What's going on? I can't not call you Captain Akron now. It's one of those things. Anyway, welcome in everybody. Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing Blue Nose in here. He's my buddy that I told you when we were at the Blue Angels. Yeah. I kept saying he would love this. That's the he. That's the he I was talking about.
I tried to get a really cool
I did, Pearl, man. I blew the video. I did. I got a good video that wasn't mine, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right over us.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was awe-inspiring for me, and I'm like, I thought I had it, but I didn't. Yeah. Whatever. But anyway, so to the mods, to the moms, to the members, and just to anybody who's new and everybody who's in here, thank you. Let's talk to the moms that we have as guests. Mom,
what?
I get asked all the time, when did you start? How did you start? Where did this love for Disney start? And it really started with you. So I'm going to start this, and you've been on the show before, so some of these for my OG viewers, maybe they'll remember having you on the show. It's been about a year. Magic Mouse TV. We're going to talk about him in a minute. Welcome in, my man. Glad to see you here. When did you become a Disney fan? I know that you went to Disneyland in '55, the year it opened. Yes.
Yes.
Which is the coolest.
I'm jealous of that.
I know.
Did you keep everything, like all the napkins and all the tickets?
Yeah. Remember who you're talking to.
I know.
I kept nothing.
Did you even do pictures? I mean, I knew you guys used to dress up.
Did you chisel? Did you go home to the cave and chisel into the wall?
I did, Jeff. It's in the cave wall, and so you don't get to see it. I'm sorry.
Oh, because the cave is far away now.
Yeah, and it's a shame, but that's the way it is.
What are your memories of 1955 or pre that? And I say that because, as some people know in this chat, your dad, my grandpa, worked there pre-opening Disneyland. Why don't you tell the people the story of how you became a Disney fan, when you became a Disney fan, and how much you love your son that made Mother's Day.
But you know what? Interestingly, I guess because the studios were in Burbank, which is not far from where we lived, we were Disney fans before Disneyland was even imagined. I watched the Sunday night Disney show all my life. I watched. We would no, every Disney movie. I had Disney records that I would play. It has a great big 78 record that when you open the album, every page was the same story that they're telling on the record, and it would go bong or make some kind of noise, and you would turn the page. I had those since I was a tiny kid.
Yeah.
So I've known Disney and loved Disney my whole life. But yes, I went the year it opened, and my dad worked there the couple years before it opened. So that was exciting. We knew he would come home and tell us what was going on, as much as he knew anyway. And it sounded like this magical place that couldn't possibly be real, that human beings could go visit. It was like, I kept picturing like you would walk into a movie and be a part of the movie.
Hi, Noelle. Well, you kind of did. Welcome in, Noelle. So you were a teenager at the time when it opened. So
no, I wasn't.
Yeah, I can do that. Yes, you were.
I was only 11.
It opened in 55.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So 11 is close enough.
I remember. You weren't there.
You weren't there.
You were a teenager 2 years after it opened, Math Whiz.
Oh,
hey, Dean, what's going on? And what a perfect time to live there, to have your dad working there, and then to check it out. Like, you were one of the first to go. How soon did you go? It opened, what, in June, I think? When did you, do you know even when you went? Like, what time of year was it? How soon were you there? I know you weren't day one, because I would have heard about it.
No, we weren't. But I remember that it was before school started, so it had to have been late summer, like August.
Mm-hmm. So
because school for me at the time started in September, and I remember we went during the week and not on a weekend, so it had to have been before school started.
And what do you remember? Hey, Tim, what's going on, my man? What do you remember about Grandpa, Dad for you, Grandpa for me, pre it opened? I mean, tell the people. I mean, I've told it on my show a lot, so some of them are going to know it, but I don't think many have heard it from you. You were, as Stacy just reminded me, you were the first person I've ever had on the show using StreamYards. Now, I honestly did it 2 or 3 times pre-public. Like, me and you did it just downstairs and making sure it worked to see if this thing that's called StreamYard worked well for a guest. But regardless, what do you remember about Grandpa working there? I've told the story, but I'd rather them hear it from you, and maybe we'll learn something new.
You know, the only thing different was he actually talked about his work. He never, ever did. Because it wasn't interesting.
I told people we had to pull it out of him. He didn't talk about it.
Yeah, he was a painter. So what can you say? I went to a house, I made it green. It used to be
I
yellow.
painted a hippo today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's why it was different. He had something interesting to say about his work. And he came home looking the same, covered in paint like he always did. Do you remember that? And
I remember the first time I saw him in pants without paint. I didn't know it was wrong.
I know. Who are you?
Yeah.
So, but he would come home and say these really cool things about stuff being built. And, you know, there's going to be a big mountain in the middle and a castle. And it was just like, no way. It's, you know, get out of here. But it was, you know, a neat time. It was a really neat time.
Any idea, how do I say this? Any idea how new it was? Like, did you know stuff before the public? Was it?
I don't know. No, because on the Wide World or Wild World, some kind of World of Disney, every Sunday night, they would talk about the building of Disneyland, and they showed you what the progress, and they showed you what was. So honestly,
aware of those shows. Yeah.
Watching TV, you knew more than my dad would tell me. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I didn't know anything different.
So what I've told people, so verify or tell them I'm a liar or whatever the truth is, he painted parts of Main Street.
You're a lying liar? No.
I've never told you were from Italy and then, oops, nope, you're not. So be careful there. But you told me that he painted Main Street, parts of Main Street, obviously not the whole thing. And he was a painter on Main Street, and he was a painter in the Jungle Cruise, and he did hippos and elephants. Is that? I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I just remember he once said he painted a hippo, and I said, what color? I was expecting, you know, purple, but he said gray. Okay. But he did paint buildings downtown. I don't know which ones. And they've probably been painted 40 times since then anyway.
Yeah, well, sure, but they're painting on top of my grandpa's paint. I mean,
yeah.
Pretty cool. I mean, it's my Jungle Cruise. It's my main.
when I watch the on Disney Plus, the what is the show about the building of Disneyland? What is that called?
Well, there's a few of them, but I'm sure you're talking about the it's my favorite
The
show.
Imagineers.
Yeah. Thank you. Boy, I couldn't find it in my head.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
and
thing.
I'm always looking in the
Mando
background to see if I can see my dad, in any of the painting people, but I haven't seen him yet.
When they do the stuff that is pre-55,
Yeah.
like they'll show Main Street more than they'll show anything else. I'm always like, that could be him, that could be him, and I stop at stuff and I'm like, how would I even recognize?
Or they show the hippos not in the water.
I
and
saw
was
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that always excites me.
I know. So I look for him. I don't know. I don't think I've seen him, but I've looked for him. That's funny.
That's
and
great.
I wanted him to keep his paychecks because Mickey Mouse was on them. And he said, no, we've got to take this to the bank. We don't get to keep it because they were cool.
They're on eBay now.
So, I bet they are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that his are, but I've seen those old checks and they're not cheap. I'll tell you that.
I would not think so.
Yeah.
And we've had other family, though, who worked at Disney Studios for years and years. Frank, your cousin, Frank, was an animator. His brother, Billy, worked in the video department and subsequently started his own video business. Frank, my cousin's husband, Frank, he worked there for years in different departments. Huh?
Is it Ona's Frank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her son Frank, her son Billy, and her husband Frank. Yes.
Yeah. So your cousins were animators.
Yeah.
I knew I had family. I didn't know the details.
He's like, that's kind of cool.
People ask me that, it's funny. Like I kind of feel like a liar joking about lying earlier, but people ask me that kind of stuff, and I know that there's some connections that I don't know that because I don't care.
Well,
I'm just not a detailed guy.
Yeah, they lived in Burbank, and they all worked at the studios for many years. So we have a whole family connection.
Now that we live in Texas, and now that we're in this Disney YouTube community, I feel like I should have paid. Like I make fun of you for not keeping all the stuff. The truth is, I didn't either.
None of us did.
I didn't pay attention. Like the family that worked in what people are kind of infatuated with, what we would have just thought was a job. They kind of, there was media jobs and there was Disney jobs and there was stuff that's kind of shiny now when it wasn't shiny then. I kind of wish I knew it more, but that's one of the reasons to bring you on to remind me and to share those stories.
I went on for grad night, 1961 high school graduation. I didn't keep anything from that either. So
let me ask you this, my mom, who went to grad night in 61. I did not go to grad night in 1988 when I graduated high school. Why didn't I? Like, I loved Disney then. I was a Disney nut already. I never considered it.
I don't know.
Your school didn't go.
No, they did. They totally did. I know they did.
Oh, did they? I didn't even know about that. I don't know.
They totally did. I never, it's funny with graduation coming up and this pandemic and everybody's missing out on graduation. I never, when I was a kid, I didn't care. I remember thinking, this is stupid. Why do I have to practice for 3 days to know where to sit? And everybody made a big deal about it. And everybody was freaking out about tickets. I'm like, what? And then we even had a party at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And I remember thinking, why are we? I
bet you didn't go because you were stuck on a bus under someone else's control. You weren't allowed as a senior to bring your car. You had to go on the school bus. Yeah. There was all these.
They must have changed that because we went in my girlfriend's car.
It's weird now though because I've actually gone. So you went to grad night. You went to grad night. My daughter just went to grad night last year. You've been to many?
Yeah.
Okay.
To a couple.
Because we talk about it now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Gotcha. I went on eBay and bought a grad night button from '88, and I didn't even go, but I have a grad night button for '88 now because I wanted it. I don't. I feel like when we grew up, we had a lot of Disney stuff in the house.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. But we just never bothered to keep it. We moved all the time, and when we moved,
collector, like you would throw stuff out. Like you would throw out my sister every other week. Like we had to it down, or you would throw it away. How did we get all the Disney stuff? Because I'm a collector. I got a lot of stuff still, but you've never been.
We got a lot of stuff. We were there often.
Do you have that memory? I mean, I feel like you already answered that.
Every time we went, you'd get a new little hat and whatever. Yeah, you had all that stuff.
So
we used to go all through high school. My girlfriends and I used to go every Friday night, it was like date night, and single people went, high school people, teenagers, and they had bands playing all over Disneyland.
Date night at Disney was the thing for a while, yeah.
And you just paid your admittance. You didn't write anything, and you just went from area to area and danced with people, and it was just like, I don't know.
Still have that. They have Friday night swing band, and they have regulars, and it's pretty sweet. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And I remember Grandma would always, when your parents, my grandparents, we'd go. She would always be drawn to that little Carnation Cafe area where they do
the dance areas. Yeah,
she would talk about what they used to do there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when did you first start taking your kids to Disney? I know the answer because we just talked about it recently because you sent me some pictures that I made a video of, but tell the story. I mean, we moved down to San Diego fairly early in my life, about 4 or 5, but we didn't stop going to Disney. How often do we go? Why were we a Disney family? You were the mom of a Disney family. Why? It wasn't Dad, it was you.
I think just because it's a wonderful, magical place to be, and we loved it. And I know you've had this discussion on your show many times about the cost of going. It was reasonable for families to go, and it wasn't as crowded as it is today. And you could go there for a reasonable amount of money and have a really wonderful day, and it wasn't crowded. You could actually ride anything you wanted to ride, but it's changed so much that it's not a different place in what you see. It's a different experience for people who had never gone before.
Yeah.
I think they're not experiencing the same feeling that we did because it was more personal. It wasn't as crowded.
It's still to this day a locals park. People don't understand that, but it really truly is. Disneyland.
Yes.
Disney World is a different thing.
Disney World is a world showcase. Disneyland is a California park.
It's multiple parks and it's crazy busy and yeah. Did you purposely set out to have a Disney family? Did you?
No, it's just part of who we are. We loved it. I've always loved it. My whole family loves it, and it's just part of what we do, where we go, how we live.
So when I was fighting off all the, NFL cheerleaders and stuff, there was only 2 things I was looking for. Somebody who could, 3 things. She had to be beautiful. She had to have the ability to have a good conversation. And she had to love Disney. And, I'm not even joking when I say the Disney part. I would never have considered liking somebody who didn't love Disney. And I don't really know where that came from. So when did you start being a Disney fan? Because you didn't go to Disney like I did as a kid all the time.
No, I didn't go all the time. I don't really know. I mean, I know I went when I was about 4, and it was pretty amazing. I remember my balloon hit a lady's sunglasses and she got mad. I have bits and pieces, but I remember the castle. That was my castle forever. And then I didn't really go a lot from 4 to 10 or 11, but I was watching the Mouseketeers and I didn't miss an episode. Anything on Disney that was playing, I was right in front of the TV because I just loved it. And then when I got older, friends of ours that I lived with, they actually had a bus line and they would do day excursions to Disney. And I would just jump on the bus and go with them because they had younger kids, and I would stay with the younger kids while they all did their jobs. And then we'd meet somewhere and drive back home. So that's when it was this is amazing. It was the best thing ever.
It is the best thing ever.
Yeah. And then, in school, you'd have field trips.
Hi, Hitchhiking Bones. Hi, Mar. Happy Mother's Day.
I worked for a newspaper in Redlands, California. And I was in charge of the little 10 to 12-year-old newspaper boys, and I'd have to make sure they got their papers. Well, we had a contest that the person who gets the most new subscribers to the newspaper would get, you'd have to get so many, they would get a night in the Disneyland hotel and then go to Disneyland.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had that puppy in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
It was super fun. That was the first time I stayed in the Disneyland hotel. And it, we only lived like 45 minutes away. It wasn't even like
Yeah.
I didn't
We
live
lived farther
far
away.
Yeah.
We went 100 times.
But the hotel was
Yeah.
a different layer of amazing.
Oh, sure. The Disneyland Hotel was great. So Grandma loved the Disneyland Hotel. Grandma and Grandpa would take me, probably my sister too, I guess. I don't know if it was just me or I'm misremembering that, but sometimes we would go just to the Disneyland Hotel. I remember discovering lasers there. I remember discovering koi fish there, not unlike the Polynesian. Do you remember going to the Disneyland Hotel and just doing just that? Because that was a treat. Hey, Rachel.
Because Grandma liked the food there too.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you know that?
I don't remember that, but I believe it.
They lived in Fountain Valley for a while when you were.
Well, they lived
maybe
we
8.
lived right across the road. We could see I've told this story many times. Hey, Roxana, I could see for a couple summers in a row the fireworks from the front yard. I couldn't get the fireworks. That was amazing.
They lived very near Disneyland for a couple of years. And so that was easier for everybody.
One thing I remember always doing, like when we would go, and then even when we did this with our kids, getting on the freeway and the first person to see the Matterhorn and call it out was the winner.
Totally.
We did that forever.
And then when you see the sign now it says Disneyland, but it used to say just Harbor Boulevard. And as soon as you saw Harbor Boulevard and Ball Road, you get so
Ball Road,
there it is. There it
I
is.
remember the first time I went back after they changed it all, because they've changed it all.
Yeah.
And I was kind of disappointed. It was way better and way easier. I remember pulling in, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're already here. I'm sad. Like it was backwards.
When
they made it so much better.
Ball Road now, it's just a little bit, and all of a sudden
Takes you right there. Yeah, it's very different. Yeah. Yeah.
So when did you decide we were a Disney family? Did I make that happen? Did you make that happen? Did it matter to you that I love Disney? Was that just come with the deal? Talk about
it. Was the day after you got married. That's when.
That's where I was going to go.
We got married and immediately went to Disneyland.
So when we were getting married, I've told pieces of this story, but when we were getting married, there were two people that had all the say. You and you. You went a little crazy. You were the normal one, but you set us up with some good food though. That guy you hooked us up with the food, that was spectacular food. But I really only cared about the honeymoon. Let's be real, dude. And I wanted to go to a couple places, but one thing we decided on together that I'm still really excited about is we said, because we had some family that came from out of state.
We had a lot of family that came in. Yeah.
And so we invited everyone who wanted to come with us the next day to Disneyland. And that was a lot of fun. Do you remember doing that?
Oh, sure.
It was great.
So I don't have pictures of that. Do you?
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. You know what? I'll ask my cousin Anthony because he took a lot of pictures. Maybe he did.
So our wedding.
Gosh, how could we not? That's crazy.
So
there must have been 30 of us. There must have been about 30 people who went with you that day.
It was great. And some left in the middle of the day because they had to catch flights. But we started off the day in a group, and everybody had fun. We started off our marriage at Disney.
Yeah.
Our married
night. First day married, we were in Disneyland.
We were. So our wedding was a lot of fun.
And
we weren't even considered Disney nerds or Disney nuts then. It was just like, hey.
You know what though? For most of us who lived there, it was normal. It wasn't nerdy. It was just normal.
When we moved to Texas, for anybody who's new, we work with kids. And when we moved to Texas about a decade ago now, I remember because we'd run after school programs. So we'd have baseball card club, we'd have table tennis club, we'd do homework, we'd play dodgeball, we'd have Disney club.
Yeah.
And when we do Disney club, because I don't know what that is, like Mickey freaking Mouse.
Exactly.
So we indoctrinated them into our world. But I remember being shocked by it. It was because it was a more of a local
none of them had ever been there.
No.
Isn't that crazy?
Honestly, there's a bunch of kids that have not even been out of the county.
I know.
Crazy.
When I first moved to Missouri, it was shocking how many people, because it was such a normal part of our everyday life that nobody had no desire to go.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what they were missing.
Right.
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
What we did 10 times a year, 5 times a year on a bad year or a low year, people would go on a Make-A-Wish.
They do it like once in their whole life. Like, what?
Yeah. Because Well, they didn't know what they were missing, for one thing, and they thought it was for kids. That what? A lot of people said it's just Six Flags with Mickey Mouse, and I just couldn't even explain to them how wrong that was.
It's not.
No, oh my gosh, no.
I think there's a misnomer out there too, and I think this is a societal disease, frankly, but people think that some things are out of their financial ability. If you go to dinner at a average to above average cost place, so if you're not going to, Arby's or McDonald's, if you're going out to dinner, you sit down, somebody brings you food, and you give somebody a tip at the end of the night, and you got 4 people, that cost, to me, is pretty dang close to a day at Disney. But people like to think Disney's so expensive.
Well, because from here, Jeff, from Texas or Missouri, you have to travel there. You have to have a hotel. We could go on a whim. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I think we'll go to Disney today. And we hop in the car and we go.
But Brian points out, even people in Orlando, some don't go. And I don't need everybody to go. What do I care? Matter of fact, the lines are too long. Please stay away. If you don't think you like it, you're right. It sucks. It's really horrible. Please don't go. The lines are long. But
I don't think it's like that in California, though. I mean, everybody in California has.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a decade, but I've always thought that there was this misnomer that there was an a cost issue. And obviously it's not cheap. It's not free. It's not like going to the park, but it is like going to the zoo. And every time I go to the zoo when it's 120 degrees here in Fort Worth, it's the cost of going to Disney. Now you're right.
Not quite.
It's not that far.
It's different.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
the zoo is not that bad.
I don't know. But you make a good point on the hotel thing. But
and they just don't have the opportunity. It's a huge undertaking. You have to plan. You have to drive someplace or fly. It costs. I mean, it's a whole different undertaking than us going on for a day.
You're right. I mean, and part of it is the locality, so that's totally fair. Pass holder Pierre says the Florida resident monthly payment plan for an annual pass is amazing. It is. I agree. I wish I could have it. Yeah.
Me too. That would be awesome.
So anyway, so
we had that in California, though.
Yeah.
We had the residential plan. And so our kids really grew up with Disneyland being like a park day. Like it was Disney Park, but it was like we didn't go and play at the park a lot. I mean, we did our co-op with me, but it was their park day. That was their backyard. It was their like they would just go. We didn't always we never bought food, actually. Usually
we used to take food in a backpack. Yeah.
And we would just.
I mean, it was just like, shall we go to the beach today and hang out at the ocean or Disneyland? I don't know. We went to Disneyland yesterday. Let's go to the beach today.
It was pretty cool. And the beach is free, by the way, so you can go to the beach a lot.
Yeah.
But it's sandy and it's harder with kids.
Yeah.
You have to really be in the water with them. And I was often by myself with a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
It's easier to go to Disneyland. And we had the annual passes, so might as well.
When I first moved to Missouri, I missed the ocean so much. And I asked one of my staff, if I wanted to go to the beach, how long would it take me to get there? And she said, go south 12 hours. And I went, oh my gosh, I'm going to die.
Yeah. I mean, when you get to the Mississippi River and you look down into the water, is that a beach? Can you call it?
No.
Yeah, I think so. Noel. Friends don't let friends root for the Eagles or the Phillies. So just in case you're wondering. OTP says there is a big cost prohibitive thing here. Most kids only visit for a school trip. I mean, everybody's economic situation is different, but if you want to go to Disney, you can go to Disney.
And we took kids in California on field trips.
We did. We have some funny stories.
And when we had foster kids, we definitely went because those are the kids in California that don't usually get to go as kids.
And when we had exchange students, we took them.
One of my favorite things we ever did. So we did that when we were dating and we got married, but it really started with us. We would take. How many exchange students do you think we had? We probably had 20 when I was a kid living in the house.
Oh, boy, at least. Yeah.
So if you don't know what that is for everybody in chat.
You had them when we were married. You still had.
Yeah. She lived in the field. So if you don't know what that is, I think probably a lot of people do, but probably a lot of people don't. Exchange students come from France and Tahiti and Germany and Yugoslavia, and they came from all over the place, and they'd get placed in homes, and they'd go to school, they go to college, they go to high school, whatever. I guess they were mostly high school kids. Is that right? Yeah. And so when I was, I don't know, I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, Mom, maybe like 9 or 10 till about 14 or 15, 16, we had, oh man, 20 or 30 exchange students. I remember, I think the first two were Andy and Akeem, who were
from Germany.
They weren't,
they
like
to play soccer.
They were like on the junior world team, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, Barrel Boy Woods, what's going on? And then we had Benny, we had a guy who was from Yugoslavia that was really, really good at water polo, and a girl from Tahiti and the girls from Japan. And so we would always take them all around. Now,
and we had, do you remember we had Atushi? He was with us for a whole year. He was from Japan.
He was a great guy. What great memories I had of that. But one of the things we did that made my life great is we were doing the touristy things, because we always had someone who wanted to go see America. Well, we lived in San Diego, and so we would do everything we could from there, right? And it was a really cool life to grow up in, because we were always hosting somebody somewhere. Well, it ensured that we were going to Disneyland. We would always take them to Disneyland, and I remember some great pictures of, I think it was Andy and Akeem at I don't know, maybe that's wrong. It was two dudes, probably Andy and Akeem, because I'm thinking the two dudes at Disney, and they were just having a blast. I mean, it's the place to take somebody, right?
And it's someone on their first time. That's the best. It's so much fun,
isn't it? It's so much fun because you see it through new eyes,
Yeah.
Well, we've got to do that with kids too. I mean, we've been lucky enough to take people, surprise kids, not 3 or 4 fun stories where we took a kid, they didn't know where we were going.
We'd tell them, hey, we're going to go get lunch, and we'd take them to Disney.
We would do that to our daughter sometimes.
Yeah. Once they got older and they knew the landmarks.
Oh, I was a good enough liar. One time we went by it because they get all excited and like, oh, I know her. And then we go right by it and they're like, oh, and then we turn around. So, I only did that once because that was me. But,
that's cruel.
Have you met me? But anyway, it was fun. So well, I guess we're at the halfway point. So I wanted the first half hour to talk to you guys about how you guys led a Disney family. And I think we did a good job. I'm going to talk about our sponsor right now, and then we're going to talk about our top 5 or top 3 or top 10, whatever, Disney moms from the Disney movies, if that's okay with you guys. So my buddy is in the chat. Bill Guerrero Jr., Bill Guerrero Sr. are Magic of the Mouse podcast. I'm going to drop a link right now to their podcast. This is the Spotify link that you can get their podcast everywhere podcasts are listened to. I like Spotify, but again, just type in Magic of the Mouse wherever, Apple Podcasts or wherever. It's really, really fun, high production value, high information. I love, hey, Orlando guy, what's going on, my man? I love them. They're friends now. That we do a show on a baseball channel called Bush League Baseball. You can see his logo above my mama's head over there, Magic of the Mouse TV on YouTube. This week, actually, let me pull it up. I don't want to lie. This week they dropped a new video, and I think I know it, but I don't want to lie. So I want to make sure I'm right. Yeah, Walt Disney's Florida Project turning 50. So he did a video this week, and go check it out. Oh, did I lose her? Was that me? Did I do that?
Touching the screen with the phone. No, we lost the mama.
Sorry, mommy. Sorry. Anyway, so that's my buddy Bill. Go check out his podcast. He's a sponsor of the show. He's a good friend. It's great content. You're going to love him. And, of course, check out our show on Thursday night where we talk baseball. But get to the podcast. Give him some love. Get to the YouTube channel. Give him some love. As a personal favor to me, help him out because he's helping me out by being a sponsor, and he's a good dude. So there you go. Favorite Disney mom. So there's a little list here. I'll just go down the list. We'll talk about it, and then I'll share my favorites, and then I'll turn it over to you guys, and you guys let me know who your favorites are, okay? So obviously, Perdita, 101 Dalmatians, is kind of one of the iconic moms. I mean, you got 101 kids. You should get some love. Sarabi on The Lion King is one of my favorites because I love Lion King. It was our first date. Took her to the movies, and we saw Lion King for our first movie we ever saw. Tarzan's a great one. Kala. I mean, if you're actually momming someone who's not even your species, that's pretty good, right? I feel like I'm doing that with 4. Toy Story's mom, which I didn't even think I knew the name until I saw this, Mrs. Davis. I always just thought it was Andy's mom, I got to be honest. But she's a great one. Princess and the Frog's mom is awesome. I guess her name is Eudora. I just like her because of what she did for her kiddo. Mentioning Bambi's mom is almost mean, so we're just going to slide right by that one.
That is not one I want to talk
about. I mean,
not Dumbo's mom.
What's that?
And not Dumbo's mom. It makes me sad.
We'll get there. Cena, Moana's mom.
So Moana's grandma was the best.
Yeah, right?
I love her.
Her and Coco's grandma.
Yes.
Queen Ariana of Tangled. Everybody loves that one. Again, I'm just looking at this list just to give you guys some ideas on who to talk to. On this list, number 2 is Mrs. Jumbo. Iconic, right? I mean,
she was
right there with Bambi. And on this list, not for me, but because I don't love this movie as much. Nani is number one on this list. Obviously, she fostered her. I guess it's her little sister. Yeah, I love that list. For me, though, I mentioned this the other night, and I think it's stuck in my head. I like an old classic movie more than most people do. Swiss Family Robinson. The mom on that is my favorite Disney mom. I think that movie is so fun. Are you frozen, Ma?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Move every now and then, or you freak me the heck out. All right.
I'm listening. I'm mesmerized by your story.
What the heck happened to Mom? It's a wax figure or something. Anyway, so
I fell asleep for a moment. What were you talking about? No.
So the Swiss Family Robinson, I loved growing up. I know it's the Tarzan treehouse now, but I've always loved it. Now that I'm 50 and fat, I love it less. But I love walking up and down that thing.
Now I look at it, I'm like, that's nice.
Right? I know. Go up there while I have a churro.
I'll stay here.
But I love that movie. I've watched that. Like when Disney Plus came on that first night, I watched it the first night. And I probably watched it 4 times in the first week it was there. And I didn't know that I loved the movie, but I wanted to watch it. And she is the best. Well, that's so much good on that movie. But I love that movie. But for me, she's my favorite Disney mom. I'll start with one of my other favorite Disney moms, my mom, who has to move now and then or I'm going to freak the heck out. Well, there you go. Thank you. Who's your favorite Disney mom and why? Or hey, John Morgan, what's going on? John Morgan, my favorite new Orlandoian.
Yeah.
Orlandian?
Orlandian.
Person who lives in Orlando. What's going on, my man? Glad to have you here. Mom, who's your favorite Disney mom character? And more importantly, why?
I like Mrs. Banks because, first of all,
great one.
She puts up with Mr. Banks, and that guy's kind of an idiot.
You know what? You keep going. I'm going to point out something that why she shouldn't be on the top 10.
I like her because she's sort of an activist, and she's kind of a nut, and she's completely oblivious to the world around her. Stuff is happening. Her kids are disappearing. She's got this nanny.
Sounds like a mom I grew up with.
I know. So that's why I love her. It's hilarious.
That's great.
That's a good one. Mrs. Banks is a good one. Okay. I love that movie. That was one of my favorite movies. Do you remember talked about the album? You got me the album, the soundtrack, and I listened to it a zillion dang times.
When your sister was small, she watched Mary Poppins every day. She had the whole movie memorized. She could sing every song. She knew all the dialogue. She drove me nuts.
So
that's great.
What song, and because we're talking about, everyone's going to know, what song has this lyric? Ready, set,
go.
Though we adore them individually, we agree that as a group, they're rather stupid.
Rather stupid. Mrs. Banks, yay!
Anyway, but I do love her. That's a great. You know what? She can have a conversation with the nanny. She's talking to her husband. There's a bomb going off. She's catching the baby.
She's like,
that's a great call.
Well, I have to go march. I'll see you later.
Caitlin says, I love
the kids. I don't know where they are.
Put on my sash. Lady from Maine, ouch, that's a good one. I love the mom from Meet the Robinsons, so sweet and fun and a fun personality. It's a good one. Yeah, let me know in chat. Who else do you think? That's a good one. Anybody else you want to talk about before I ask Paula?
No, go ahead. Go.
Who are some of your favorites?
So my favorite Disney mom, I think, is Kala from Tarzan. I love that she just, grabbed that baby, fought off a big ugly thing and protected it.
Kind of a beautiful
raised
thing,
it,
but
it was so
didn't
sweet.
Want to eat her.
It was a little story of adoption, and that's amazing too.
Well, I know that's good. So Noelle says right there, I like the caps. I need Disney to make a movie to change the stepmom perception. I think that's why Lilo and Stitch, right? Didn't they do that? I think they did that pretty well there.
That was
that's right, but that's fair. You're right, but. Good point.
It showed like the struggle. I love that one too because it was the struggle where like at one point Lila's like, I only like you for a sister, not a mom.
Yeah.
They didn't. It was very fun. But
how many people have to deal with those kinds of things? You manage that world. I refuse to be compared to the evil stepmom, says Noelle. I love that. Yeah, I mean, stepmoms do have a rough public perception in the movies, don't they? I mean. Mommy Dearest and The evil stepmom. I mean, that's what she's called. I don't know. I mean, it's actually called that.
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yeah.
She had to be friends with mice because she's a lunatic.
I love the mice. They're my favorite.
Stacey Rogers with a very Philadelphia thing to say. It wasn't a bomb. It was a cannon. Big difference. Not really. Kind of the same. Stacey, I love you. Anyway, so who else? Any other?
My other very favorite is Moana's grandma. Now, I love Mama Coco.
See, I was going to say.
Because she's adorable.
I was going to go with the Mama Coco thing.
Moana's grandma was just like, I just loved her because she was like, well, I know you're supposed to be this, but on the inside of you, it's saying this, so go there.
And by the way, so for all the kids out there, don't take that advice. Listen to your father.
Over to you. And grandma was like, come on, let's get in a little trouble here. I love that. I'm totally gonna be that grandma.
Yeah, right. Oh, you already are. Yeah, and I will be the dad. Well, it's not a Disney movie. What's the movie where the guy says, "Stay in the cave"? It's safe in here. What's that? We love that movie.
Oh yeah, the oh my goodness, the cavemen.
The Croods. Croods.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Dude, that's me. I'm the dad from that.
He's the dad. Like, don't go out.
Yeah.
Oh, bad
Oh my
things
gosh.
happen.
We were Jennifer.
Go.
Jennifer and I were packing one year because we're just putting a few things in the car because a fire was coming. And Jeff's running all around. You have to do this and you have to do that. She says, geez, take it easy, Fireman Bob. We're not going to die.
Yeah, he was calling me
Fireman Bob or Fire Marshal Bob.
Yeah, you know what?
Hilarious.
You guys are jerks, all right? I remember that day very well.
Like, we don't have to load everything we own in the car.
I know.
For those people in chat, the fire was coming over the mountain that we could see. It was coming down. There was freaking deer in our front yard running away from the fire. So how about you guys were the lunatics in that one? You know what I was doing?
It was beautiful.
I was throwing all your trash out of the car so I could put my computer there.
Yeah, I know.
Get your stuff.
Yeah, get your baseball cards out of the car. I have some other things I'd rather put in there.
Apple computer at the time and his baseball card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, yeah, it is. Get your crap out of my way. I got to put my stuff in here.
I was like, don't unload everything because the computers were huge then. And
they were.
Like, the marshal will come if we have to load.
I honestly remember that. You're like, oh, some authority will tell us when to go. I'm like, what planet do you live on?
I was like, this is
and
crazy.
As the deer are running away from the fire. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
Do you remember that part?
I mostly just remember you running around like you were just manic. It was hilarious.
There's a pandemic or something, you're on your own. How about that?
I know.
A real emergency, don't put this guy
Oh my gosh, no.
I will run it. He needs to go lay down.
Yeah, that's right.
ATJH in the house. Well, all I heard is, though we adore men individually, we agree as a group they're rather stupid. I blame, what's her name? The lady who wrote Mary Poppins. I can't think of her name right now. Actually, that'd be the Sherman Brothers. I shouldn't.
Travers.
PL.
Travers.
Miss PL. No, it's actually the Sherman Brothers I'm mad at. Yeah. Anyway, so you're welcome for saving your lives.
Thank you, Jeff. It was very kind of you.
How close was the college to that
It was
house?
beautiful.
How close was the college to that house? Sorry, everybody in chat. The college, Cal State San Marcos. How close was that to your house? Less than a mile. True or false?
Yeah, probably a mile, maybe two.
Evacuate the college.
Well, we weren't there, were we?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
No, we weren't at the college, so you know.
We were like a mile away from the big hill
that was on fire.
So it was beautiful because it looked like lava after like the flames were down.
I hate to admit that I'm mesmerized with
it was gorgeous.
The beauty of that, but it's bad. All right, enough making fun of me. So again,
it's never enough.
So let's get off of your lunacy, and you're welcome for saving your life and all your stuff.
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
Whatever. Bill and Bill run Magic of the TV YouTube channel. There you go. Is it going? There we go. Boom. There it is. Along with the podcast. Again, hey, Orlando guy. They're my friends. They're awesome. They are the sponsor of this show and the show that not precedes this, that comes on after this. Get over there. Check out their channel. They just did a great video. I just love them, and I want you to go check out their channel. They're doing a thing about the history of Walt Disney World right now, and they're just awesome. Give them some love. Hey, Barbara Grabowski Barbara knows.
Hey.
Barbara knows all about that fire.
She does.
Barbara will back me up.
No, she won't.
Remember Southern
She'll be on
California
the girl
days? It was
side.
No, Barbara, no.
She won't. She'll be with us.
Barbara's on my side.
She's not.
Anyway,
already know.
nice to see you, Barbara. So anyway, so please go check out his channel. Please go check out his podcast. Again, just type in Magic the Mouse TV on YouTube or Magic the Mouse the podcast, and listen to his podcast and give him some love. It's awesome. Ron just did a video of some of his autographed cards. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I need to check that out, Dukley Crew. I happen to have a lot of baseball cards, and we'll be talking about that. I have a new channel called The Animated Investor. Go check it out. I'm 1 away from 50. Just posted it. And I might do a thing about baseball cards because I got some. And I mean, if Gary Vee calls them an investment, I guess I can call them an investment.
An investment.
They were at one time.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
If you have cards pre the 80s, you're in good shape. If you have the 80s, you got Tinder for a fire. Anyway, I'll check that out too, Dukley Crew. Jeff, it's Mother's Day. Not even you should be on your side today. Look it. Would she be a mother if I wasn't around? No. So you're welcome, Stacy, and you're welcome, my mom. So anyway, what else? When you think of Disney moms, honestly, you think of sad, right? Like I'm talking about the movies now. Haven't they often portrayed it? I know the answer is yes. I mean, we were in when I met you, we were in a college class, and like month 3. We had a whole class.
The class was crazy.
It was nuts.
The lady was nuts.
It was nuts. But basically, she was trying to tell us how the world is horrible because Disney hates moms, right? Remember that?
What?
Oh, she was weird. She found
Orlando,
all kinds of weird things in the cartoon.
She used dichotomy in every
What
third
was the class?
Film is art.
Oh, it was, but it wasn't that. It was.
Oh, wow.
How evil Disney is and how they hide all these things in the movies.
It's probably because she applied there and they wouldn't hire her, and so now she's mad at them.
He was very academic. No, I mean, it was actually pretty interesting, but I didn't agree with it, but that's okay. She
made us watch A Clockwork Orange, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That wasn't that teacher. That was a different one. That was the English class.
That was Film is Art.
Nope, but that's one I think.
Anyways,
we did watch. But Hans Christian Andersen obviously is the person who did a bunch of the stories that Disney's turned into some classic tales. And she was talking about how, Hans Christian Andersen did this, and then Disney did this. Disney likes to take us and say, "Hey, look at this cute thing," and then smash it in the face, and then you get redemption. How do you guys feel as moms, and how Disney portrays moms, and did that bug you? Did you love?
I never had a problem with it. It doesn't seem abnormal to me. I mean, they have a lot more problems in their life than I ever have, thank goodness. But
it's kind of how they set the character up for you to feel bad.
Dumbo, Bambi.
Or they do that on purpose. They have to build up the tension, and then they give you a happy ending.
Yeah, it's the elasticity of the story.
Bambi is the worst.
Dumbo's pretty rough.
Dumbo's bad too.
Dumbo's pretty rough.
Bambi's really bad.
Baby Mine, the song alone, you don't even need to know the story and you're going to tear up. I mean, that's pretty rough. Well, I mean, it seemed like the mom kind of question to ask. If you could be any mom in a live action version of any story, you could play the Disney mom, who would it be? And then you get it next.
Oh, that's a great question.
When I ask a question,
I'd like to be the evil stepmother on Cinderella.
There you go. There you go. And why is that? Because you want to tell me what to do and how to clean things? Because
I think so.
The first time.
I think so.
Why? See, here's the thing with Cinderella. If she had a little brother like me and I could have just said, ignore her, it would have been better.
No, the brother would be saying, "Here, I'll give you this toy if you go do that, clean that in my room." Yeah,
I would have definitely Tom Sawyered her. You're right.
Yeah, you would have. You did. You Tom Sawyered all your friends. That was like your mode of operation.
Yeah, it's Peyton's mode of operation too.
Not only have I not stopped that, but I've got a whole nother generation doing that.
She probably uses poor Reggie, huh?
Yep.
Oh no!
Gladly does it for snacks.
Poor Reggie. She does everybody at church. Everybody in her. What are you talking about? It's what we do.
No, all the junior high boys. She feeds them to get them to do work and move heavy things for them. She's like, food motivates 12 to 14-year-old
She likes
boys.
coffee. They don't even like coffee, but they all drink coffee because they want to.
Good job, Peyton.
Yeah. She'll be like, no, I just keep candy bars in my back pocket and chips. They'll do anything for it.
Work with kids. So what about you? If you could play a Disney mom in a movie or a play, who would it be? And more importantly, why?
Who would it be? I don't know. Let's see. I'd probably do the Swiss Family Robinson mom.
Oh, yeah?
I want to
Really?
live on an island, and I have wanted
It
to
does fit.
forever. And all the animals, they had like the best animals. They had an
Those
elephant.
scenes are nuts.
They're so much fun.
All the animals'
But I
rights
wanna be
people
in,
would
like,
not let that happen now.
whole movie, yeah. I didn't like the weird people that visited the island, but yep, I could do that. I could live up in a tree.
Yeah, right?
But you'd
That's
have
a
to
good
put an
call.
elevator in because I'm not doing all those stairs.
I know, right? Yeah, Orlando Mike's talking about Ariel's mother in the third movie. I got to be honest, I got through one. I didn't get to two, and I certainly didn't get to three.
No, I never saw
Yeah.
Ariel's mom.
Yeah, unless it's Toy Story, I'm not much of a. If it goes straight to video on the sequel, I'm usually not paying attention too much. Well, interesting stuff. So, if you were in a Disney movie, if they made a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oh, brother.
Yeah, and then you get that next.
What?
Who would
And then I'll
play
ask you,
me?
who would you want to play you in Disney makes the movie about your life? And then I'll ask you, and then we'll talk about your favorite Disney things. And well, shoot, the show will be over by then.
They can pick Sophia Loren. She can be me.
For me, it would be Sally Field for you.
Oh, okay.
I've always
I
thought.
don't know. I don't
That's a
know.
good one, right?
Would have to be somebody pretty goofy.
Have people told you that you look and act and are like Sally Field? Because I think not only the look, but the personality. I think it fits. Like the characters she plays anyway. I don't know her. But
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah,
that's
funny.
it. I sense you don't like that. You're like, eh.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like,
What about you? So in the Paula Bates movie, who would you have?
I have no
Play you.
idea.
See, I got a list of 27 people who can pick me, and they all start with Brad and Pitt.
Whatever. I have no idea.
Well, that was a great question. Let's
There you
move
go.
on. So what's your favorite ride? What's your favorite ride at Disney when you were little and now?
Oh, my favorite ride was Peter Pan.
Oh, that's a good one.
I still
Yeah.
love
I used
I
to
didn't know
love
that.
I loved the
I had a
flying.
ride.
I love the flying.
I had a ride in my head I thought you would say. What, is there a second? I'm interested.
That when I was little?
No, because when you tell me whatever you want. The one that I was thinking of is not Peter Pan.
Oh, Peter Pan was my favorite ride, but a long time ago they used to have donkey rides, and they would take you where Big Thunder Mountain is, and you could ride on an actual donkey through the canyon. I loved that.
I never knew that, but I'm aware of it. So I thought Big Thunder Mountain, you might say, but Matterhorn is the one that I always in my head was your favorite. Am I crazy?
No.
Really?
Huh. No.
Yeah, I don't mind either.
What's your favorite ride?
Just if I would just pick one, I'm not sure because I love everything in Adventureland. But so as a kid, definitely Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Looking over
That was
and
pretty
seeing
neat.
all the little
Yeah.
lights in that city below, I was like, "Whoa, this is so amazing!"
Wasn't that the coolest? That was before
Yeah.
they invented Soarin', so it was like a big deal.
Well, that's true. Soren's your favorite. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I really love the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that was
The big
always.
I love Indiana Jones too, but I love the Jungle Cruise.
You know what it is? The Jungle Cruise and Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's a few rides that have they have a smell, an aroma.
Aromine.
Aroma.
Yeah, and that when you just even smell it, as soon as you get there and you're getting on it, then the whole ride comes alive for you. It's very interesting. And I know, Paula, you said they have candles that you can buy that smell like. Do they have that kind of a scent?
They
Probably.
they have Pirates water,
We'll buy you one.
which is
They
the.
do?
I wanted some. I haven't got them back. I haven't
You
got
did?
them yet. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I'd like to know. I'd like to know if they really do.
Yeah. They have Pirates water and
I have some friends who
several different ones.
have affiliate links and stuff with them. I don't have a relationship with any of them, but I would love to if you're in.
They do the hotel scents or the resort scents too.
They do everything now. It's amazing. It's like a Jelly Belly. You remember when
I
those?
don't know if I would care about the resorts, but I sure would like to have the different rides. I think that
was my favorite smell.
What is?
The Polynesian.
Oh, yeah.
I go to the bathroom.
That's Plumeria. That's when you go Hawaii, when you step off the plane has a smell.
Yes.
That
smells called vacation.
No.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Coconut oil.
Do you remember when we landed in Hawaii and we got off? It was on the Big Island. I think it was Kona. And we're like, what is this? It's like you landed in the middle of like blacktop and you weren't even at an airport.
It was awesome though. It was
crazy.
No.
It was awesome in the wild
because it was
lava. It was
a lava field. I mean, it
didn't have buildings or anything. I'm like, wait, this is it? We're here? Okay, I hope they have my luggage.
Yeah, it was real. It was that was surprising. Yeah,
it was crazy
on the Big Island. You're totally right. Favorite place to eat in Disneyland, I assume, because you're more of a Disneylander than a Walt Disney World, but you can say either way. Favorite place to eat in Disney?
Blue Bayou.
Tell me why.
Probably because it was Grandpa's favorite place, and it had your grandma's favorite sandwich. She used to get the Monte Cristo, and so it's real sentimental for me. And plus, I like sitting there, and you're outside, and it's nighttime, and the boats go by, and
I love that.
It's a real special place.
I still call that guy on his porch. So your dad,
is Grandpa, isn't it?
Yeah,
your dad is my grandpa. I didn't have another set of grandparents. They both passed away before I was born on Dad's side. So that was always my grandpa. Grandpa.
On the porch.
There he sits on the porch with his rocker. Yeah.
Favorite place to eat in Disney?
I mean, the Blue Bayou, I've only eaten at one time, and I loved it. It was amazing. It was because we were sitting out right there, and the boats going by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would probably be my favorite. I also like Bengal barbecue.
Yeah, that's my.
And the new area in Adventureland. I forget the name of that new one with the new one right by the Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah,
I've only been there once too.
I haven't eaten there yet.
Loved it.
It's in Disneyland only.
Yes.
What's it called? Tropical
Hideaway.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet.
So I love that place.
When you were talking, I was thinking about
that'll be like every time we go. I'm definitely going there.
I haven't eaten
getting
there yet.
One of all of it.
We're almost out of time. 3 minutes left. So again, guys, check out my sponsor. He's in the chat right now. Magic of the Mouse TV. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out his podcast. I dropped the link in there. He's awesome. It's awesome. They're a good time. Also on Thursday nights on Bush League Baseball. It's a whole other channel. We do that channel together. We talk baseball. It's a lot of fun. Please give him some love. Everybody, if you're in chat, happy Mother's Day. We're not leaving yet. I got one more question for both of them, but I just want to get it in. And I should promote my own show. This show is going to end in about 3 minutes, and I'm going to take a half-hour break, and then we're going to have Creator Talk with my buddy, the Lynn Project co-host, and we're doing a Q&A. Mother's Day, so she's going to talk about production value. I'm going to talk a little bit about Nick Nemeth. He's my coach, my creator coach spotlight. And then we're just going to have a little Q&A, keep it a little light tonight, just because it's Mother's Day, and I figure people are doing their thing. And I like Q&A. It's a fun thing to do anyway. What would you do if you were CEO of Disney for a year, for a day, whatever? What would you do different? You're the CEO of Disney. Same question for you when she's done. Would you do something with the movies? Would you do something? Tropical Hideaway, that's right. Would you do something with the parks? What would you do? And then why? And that'll be the question we end up with.
I really, honestly, I can't imagine doing anything different. I really don't know. I never thought about that. I don't know what I would do. No.
What do you do with your spare time? That's all I think about.
Like what?
You wouldn't do anything different? You wouldn't?
I don't know. It never occurred to me. I'd have to think about that.
We can think about it now while I ask Paula. Paula, what would you do?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, like, these are like, if you want like questions like this, we should know ahead of time so we can like think about it.
No.
I think it would be cool to do a few days where you do where the price is like super, super cheap and only a certain amount of families can get in, but it would just be a chance for like the families who can't really go to Disney could go at a discounted rate. I think that would be cool.
Good news, Disney does that. Disney gives away an amazing amount of, you know this, you don't know this?
No.
Disney does that all the time. They don't publicize it too much, but every day there are multiple families in there who've won a contest or invited in. Disney's awesome with that. My old boss at the Boys and Girls Club of San Marcos, Mom Dawn, when he left us, he went to work for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Anaheim. And he was one of the guys who worked with Disney and hooked up the kids there all the time, especially the families that had need. So Disney's.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, maybe I've
Didn't
never
know about it.
Disney does a lot of that. Obviously, they work with Make-A-Wish and Give Kids
Yeah,
Awards
I know
right down there too, and all that.
That's different.
Yeah, we've talked about that. You know,
Yeah.
there's lots of organizations that help get kids there, but Disney gives a lot. That's why I'm very defensive when people attack Disney because I read stuff. What else, Mom? Well, I'm going to talk to chat here in a minute. What do you want them to know about being a Disney mom? Obviously, you've been a mom of a family that's Disney crazy for, well, I'm 50, so for at least 50 years. So what's been best about it? What's been craziest about it? Last thought that you want to share with the people, and then I'll give it to Paula, and then we'll say goodnight to the peeps.
I don't know what's crazy about it. The best part is that Disney is just a part of us, you know. It's fun and we love it.
James, who I used to think was one of my favorite people, just went down a few notches because he says, and then we ought to have your mom on the stream more often. I'm real interested in getting to the bottom of this Fire Marshal Bill episode.
No, you don't want to.
I was being an effective leader.
Yes.
We might do that, James. It's
He's been scarred. He's been scarred for life.
We need Jennifer on for that one, though.
We do.
We're getting to know our family, and I blame me for this. What I'm good at, and what I think you've gotten good at, Mom, is you take that one thing and you beat it into submission. And I blame you.
Family kind of thing that we have learned to do.
It's called love.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? You do need to have your sister on.
I thought about inviting her on tonight, but I need to have people on who know how to turn on the lights and do the audio stuff. And I could show her how.
Yeah.
I thought about it tonight because and I thought about my two daughters too.
We just have to do a Fire Marshal Bill episode.
I don't think that's a good idea.
That would be great.
It would be great.
Moving on. Thanks so much, James.
Think of all the stories that we can come up with. It's perfect.
I should have you come on and do the pink jersey story one day, but
what pink jersey? I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. I want to make an animated. Caitlin says, I want to make an anime film about the disability community and to allow other kids in a generation to understand that we are people and want the same things as them. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I'm like Wendy from Peter Pan, not really a mom, but she'd be, she is the mom. I mean, she's the mom. That's a good one, Barb. That's a great one. I'm surprised we didn't talk about her. That's a great one. Wendy's a great mom figure. Stacy says, Happy Mother's Day to my mom and my kids' mom. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy, happy. Guys, everybody in chat, thank you. Whether you're a mom or you're just taking on the role or any of it. I love all of you. It's amazing. Moms are like unbelievable. Everybody says it, but it's the truth, and we say it because it's the truth. And every day should be Mother's Day, and I mean that. But don't tell my mom I said that because her head's already too big. Now the restaurant in the Mexico Pavilion isn't as big as the Blue Bayou. I hear the food is good. I don't know. That's interesting. Noelle, I'm glad you were here. Tim, I'm glad you're here now. I want to hear that too. Well, I don't know. This might be the last time you see my mom on our channel.
Been nice knowing you. Hello. Goodbye.
Moms are superheroes. Amen. So I asked her, I'll ask you, how has it been? What's something you want them to know about being a mom of a Disney family? And then we'll say goodnight.
I'm a mom of a Disney family.
I mean, you're a mom of a Disney family.
I am. And I am starting young with my grandkids. Like Grayson.
Tell this story, yes.
And we put ears on him.
You are Mickey Grandma.
Yes.
Yeah. Mickey Gamma.
Mickey Gamma.
Or Gamma Mickey sometimes
Gamma
too.
Mickey, yeah.
Yeah, both really.
I love it. That's
we
perfect.
started him young. He has loved Mickey Mouse forever, and now he's like getting into like Tarzan and other things. Like he did the Tarzan call yesterday. So yeah,
it's so much fun to take him there. He's so adorable.
Yes, he'll need a couple leashes because man, he's busy.
Well, and this will be the last Mother's Day with only one grandkid because we're gonna have here what 6 weeks? I guess we'll have both.
I was telling the girls we're gonna have to put a new high chair in that corner and that corner. So
she was getting ready for yesterday. We had the family over for Mother's Day, and she said we need to have one for there and there. I'm like, who's coming over? What are you talking about?
This is the last time we
you were talking about the future.
Seating. Yeah.
Come on, Fire Marshal, plan ahead.
He's like planning ahead.
Who invited you on the channel?
Yeah, but you love me.
Yeah. Mostly.
Mostly.
We talked about how you lied to me my whole life yet?
No.
Yeah.
That's your next show.
Right.
It's in every stream now.
All right.
I know.
Big Disney fan, Barbara Grabowski, Orlando Mike, The Hitchhiking Bones, Make It Blue, A Disney Adventure, Magic of the Mouse TV, the Doofly Crew, and everybody else who's here. The members of my channel, the moderators, the moms, the people who just like moms, people who are in the background, ninja watching, didn't want to say nothing. I love you all. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. If you are somebody who's doing creation on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere like that, and you want to learn how to do that, tonight's going to be a very laid-back version of what we call Creator Talk. Me and Lynn talk about it every Sunday night, 9:30 my time, that's Central Time, 10:30 if you're on the East Coast. In 25 minutes, Creator Talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Nick Nimmin. She's going to talk about production value and how it matters on a video and on a channel. It's YouTube specific, but we talk about other things too. I guarantee I'll be talking about TubeBudy because I'm nuts about TubeBudy. I'll probably mention Pat Flynn again because we talked about him last week, and some pretty cool stuff happened since then with Pat Flynn. And yeah, that's it. And then tomorrow morning and every weekday now, assuming work works. Yeah, work works.
Work works.
9 o'clock our time, Beauty and the Bates. We're going daily live. It went well. We were doing it during stay home time, and now that we're going to work again, it's modified work. So it's not like
we can't.
So
like,
I don't want to guarantee that it can go
stand here
forever
forever.
because at some point work will get more normal. But it is what it is. But we'll be going live probably all week and hope, I mean, maybe forever. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you guys for being here. James Ryan, thank you for that. I love these streams, and you know, obviously I'm gonna have a great time with my wife and my mom because I love these guys. But you guys in chat make it super fun. The engaged conversation makes my day. So thank you guys. I love you. Anything you want to say to the people, Mom, before I make fun of you?
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Thanks for doing this.
Love my family.
Love you back. What about
Love
you?
you. Yep. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Love you all.
Love it. Love it. All right, that's it. You don't have to go, but you can't stay here. But you can, kind of, because in 24 minutes right here, Creator Talk. Or you can stay all night tomorrow morning. We'll be here then, too.
Yeah, we'll be back in the morning.
That's it for now. Thanks, Mom. Don't go anywhere because last time you did this, you went away. Just stay right there.
Stay right
I'm going to say
there.
goodbye to them, and then I'll talk to you some more, okay? But no.
Okay.
All right. Fireman Chat, thank you so much. Moderators, moms, everybody. Love you. Have the best day ever. See you in 23 minutes right here for Creator Talk.
Bye.
Later.